Yes, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. We are going to be doing the Twitter Reacts live for you guys this weekend. Just ended off really late last night, that Carabag game. We even had that 30-minute delay, let us remind you. So we decided to put this out live this morning for you guys and do a bit of a live reaction to it. I've had some extra tweets, was able to let the Twitter cook a little bit longer, added even more to the bookmark. So I'm looking forward to this one, from talking points to the classic laughs and memes. I think it's going to be pretty good. There's some things that I disagreed with that we have in here that I'm curious what Dave might think about. Maybe he can put me in my place when it comes to some of my kind of feelings about some performances as well as just certain aspects of the game. And so I think we got a good mixed bag here of good talking points as well as also some good laughs, which Twitter React should always be able to provide. But Dave, going into this one, I think you might be surprised by what I have included in here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I do love a bit of Twitter reacts, win or lose. It surely is entertaining. So I can't wait to get into it, see what the Spurs fan base has to offer. Usually at our best when we win. So let's get into it. Let's see what it's all about.
Yeah, let's do that. If you can for us, though, if you're watching this back, smash that like button. Do get into the comments, please, and hopefully you do enjoy the live version of it. Not sure how often it will happen, but when things have to come to this situation, we like to surprise you guys. Ash has just upgraded to a fan show member. Thank you so much, Ash, for doing that last night. We hope to see you join the fan show. I know it ends up happening at crazy o'clock your time, but then also I think you said recently you've been having some kind of crazy internet troubles, which I'm sure Dave could maybe give you some advice on if you ever need, because he ends up having to come up with a few strategies here and there in order to fix things. So big up to you, Ash, though, and thanks for grabbing that fan show membership. And would love to see you come on, or if you ever feel like sending in a fan cam, you're certainly welcome to do that. Gons and football and things. Good to see you in the chat as well. Hopefully you're okay. Sebas Wolf, what's up, brothers? We're doing all right, Sebas. How are you this Friday, my friend? Hopefully you're not too busy with work. Got a nice weekend planned. Man United coming up this Sunday. I bet you got some Man United friends over in New York that you're going to have to deal with, and hopefully you're going to be able to uh, rub a nice little 2-0, maybe 1-0 victory in their face. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully we grab the 3 points and we just get to happy clap all week long, Sebas. But let's get straight into this one. This is starting off with Billy. Just thought this was just a good way to start in classic Billy fashion. Richarlison is back on the grass at Hotspur Way, and he says, "First Basuma, now this. What the hell is going on at Tottenham Hotspur?"
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant from Billy. I do love Billy's Twitter account. It's hilarious. Good to see
And
Richarlison back on the grass, though, in all seriousness. How long it'll
absolutely.
take him to get back on the actual football pitch for us is another thing altogether.
Yeah, usually that is another thing altogether. You're actually right, Dave. But, seeing Richie, at least in some form, running about is always a good sign. Mr. Black saying, "That's how you play with 10 men, you absolute fraud." It's always great to see that meme. Radu knew we needed him to start every Europa group stage game, which makes that red 1,000 times worse. I guess we didn't think about that during the watch along, Dave, right? That he could be suspended, right? And if it's the
Three
same
game
Premier
ban,
League
isn't it?
rules, 3 game ban, it should be, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Maybe it's only one, but I wonder if it is going to be
No, it'll be
three.
three.
If it's
Straight red
three,
should be
then
three.
he real big F up from Radu Dragusin there.
Yeah, I was very annoyed at him yesterday, Jack. Look, in the pre-match build-up, we spoke about. Well, I did anyway. That I don't really think he's done anything to take any of his chances that have come his way so far. And this would be a good time to start. And that the fact that we've got games coming in thick and fast, especially with Europe now, it means he's guaranteed at least one game a week. So it was a chance for him to really get some game time, find some rhythm, but also show what he can offer, to that back line in the starting back four. And he got sent off very, very early. And that moment there probably shows and highlights why he doesn't start. One big thing with Postecoglou is he needs players that are very, very competent on the ball, that have quick feet. You look at Van de Ven, he has that. Romero, he has that. Dragusin, he just got all muddled up altogether. And you're not going to get away with that in this system, which shows he's still got a bit to learn. Also against Coventry and other games, I've seen many balls drop right in behind him. I think sometimes his positioning can be a bit poor, and look, he's got a lot of making up to do, and he's got a long road back. By no means am I giving up on Radu Dragusin. He's a young guy. I think he's got a lot to offer. I think he can become a really top centre back. I really like what I saw from him with Romania at the Euros, and he's a big, strong, strapping guy, Jack. And he has all the attributes to become a Premier League defender, but he showed a bit of naivety there. And one thing that bugs me, and it's I've mentioned it a couple of times with him already. His first couple of passes tend to go astray, and it takes him a while to sort of get back into it. And it's almost Dyer-esque. Now, I'm not going to go down that route and label him that just yet, but when he made that pass to Van de Ven, which is a simple 10-yard ball, and he hits it 20 yards behind him, I sort of thought trouble was coming off the back of it. And this is my biggest thing. You don't have time to ease into these games. You already know these teams are ready to cause you the upset. So that should be motivation enough for you to be at the top of your game from the off. And he clearly wasn't. And that's why he got caught cold. I got sent off inside 7 minutes. So hopefully, lesson learned.
And even with the 3-game suspension in mind as well, you feel like didn't need to necessarily take the guy down. Like he could have just maybe
I
assumed that
think
Vicario could make a one-on-one save. Maybe the guy
you
takes a bad touch and you can recover because Dragusin's a very athletic player, right? It's not like he's gonna just completely be beat out for pace there. I think that guy Janino did get the best of him in that regard, and he ended up kind of tripping and sort of falling, trying to catch up back after him, Dragusin. But you do feel like he didn't necessarily need to go all out and take him down, sort of Sergio Ramos style in that regard. Just didn't think that was necessary because if we kept 11 men on the pitch, probably still could have won this 3-1, 4-1 at the end of the day. And you could have maybe trusted Vicario, I guess, in that situation. But to also concede in that sort of manner that early on in a game is also not good. So it's just a rush of blood to his head in a lot of degrees.
I think in that situation there, it's twofold. You know, one, he lets him go through and goal, hopes Vicario saves it. When he's got that much time to think, he probably buries it. You go 1-0 down, but you've got the rest of the game to claw it back. But by then, Karabag have came what they came to Tottenham for. That early goal, sit back, make it hard. So, or the other option was take him down and go and get the straight red, and he chose the second option. Personally, I probably would have went with the first option, keep 11 men on the field and have the rest of the game to claw it back. But look, it's a learning curve for the guy. But one thing he needs to do is he needs to learn very, very quickly. It's sink or swim for him now at this time. And the thing is, his agent put a lot of pressure on Postecoglou to play him, even asked him to change the formation to get this guy in. Postecoglou gives him a game, and this is what he does.
Yeah, yeah, fair point there. This one I absolutely love this meme. This is so funny. Dominic Solanke, that was some shift.
I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to shake your hand.
Can you hear that, Dave?
No.
Okay, sorry. Let me play it a little louder. Should be able to. Let me just turn it up there. Why is Twitter being weird here?
Doesn't want it to be any louder.
No, it doesn't. Classic Elon with the bugs. This one, David thought is so funny.
His hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to shake your hand. Shake your hand. I'm going to shake your hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand.
I thought that was very good from Kate from the line. Definitely, that was my reaction after the Dominic Solanke goal. That's for sure. And that performance, I definitely wanted to shake his hand. Some people in the chat here love to see that. So many people already. We have Ash P saying, "I love the Twitter reacts. Glad to catch it live." Well, I'm glad that you do enjoy the Twitter reacts, Ash. And again, I really appreciate the support that you're showing for this channel, and good to have you back with us this week. Also, we have Jason Bell saying, to Future Music, saying somehow I'm a member, and Jason Bell just saying probably was a random gift from some of the legendary people around this community, and really thanks to
yesterday. It was Dragusin yesterday.
Drew Zilla yesterday. So many gifted memberships from him. We had, I think, big ones even from, I believe, Edward, gifted out some recently. We had Nick gift them out, Davey Shire, so many people. And even now, just Wayne Bonner. Big up to you, Wayno. Hopefully you're keeping okay. He gifted one to Kulisexy Football. Kulisexy Football. Do thank our man, Wayne Bonner in the house here, and take advantage of that fan show membership. Come on, make your debut on the show. Have a chat with us on the fan show this next week, and also as well, feel free to send in a fan cam after the Man United game. And Wayne Bonner saying Dragusin was sucked into that challenge. He seems to be a good player, but he needs more game time to settle in properly. This is the thing, though, Wayne. Right? It's kind of I usually misuse these terms, but it might be a bit of a catch-22 where that was his opportunity to get more game time. That was his chance to get more minutes, and you absolutely blew it. You now can't even play in the games that he would have gotten more minutes in. Those Europa League games, in fact, right? Now he's on a 3-game suspension, and those 3 games would be games for him to get more minutes under his belt, more confidence under his belt. He's just had a really bad night and a really bad mess up there.
Uh, Look, at
That
this
was his
level, you
chance
only
for more minutes. That was his chance to get more game time, and he sadly blew it.
at this level, you only get so many opportunities as well, and people can sit there and call for it for him all he wants. He let down Ange Postecoglou last night, he let himself down, and he let his agent down last night. Look, no way should we be writing him off, but he has to learn very quickly. It's Tottenham Hotspur we're talking about, we're competing on all four fronts. Fans have many ambitions to go win trophies, so does the manager. You're not going to keep getting away with this, and he's probably set himself back another 6 months of trying to compete to get back in that centre back now, so
Yeah.
it's all on him, and he's got to take it on the chin and come back with the right attitude. But big up Wayne Bonner. Good to see you, Mark, as well. He says, I like being friends. No, look, we all do, my man. We all do. Look, I don't want to be falling out with anybody over my opinions on players. And sometimes people think, I just criticize them for the sake of criticizing them, which is not true. Don't get me wrong. I'm emotional like everybody else, but some of the stuff I say of the players, it's only because I wouldn't say it if I didn't think there was more in there. My criticisms of certain players in this squad are more because I think there's better in there and they should be shown better, more than the likes of Dyer and Sanchez, who I gave up on, and I knew they weren't going to show us any better. And and this is the thing. I know some people may say, Dave, it's harsh, you're constantly demanding, but it's the level that we're at, and it's demanding every single week, and unfortunately, you have to be on top of the game. And when they're not, I'm not one that's going to sit there and give them a free pass. Unfortunately, I will say, look, you should have done this, you should have done that. But like, no way do I hate the player. No way do I dislike the player as a human. I think we've got great players, great characters in this dressing room. Now it's just about them continuing these performances on. But I don't want to be falling out with anyone over a player, Mark. I'm not here to rip people apart. I'm not here to tell people they're wrong. But I just hope that people can also respect my opinions around them as well.
Good to have you with us, Mark, as well, after what was probably one of the best James Madison performances I've ever seen him do in a Spurs shirt. That game against Brentford, just absolutely sensational. 9s out of 10s, 10s out of 10s from him. He was so good in every facet of the game, from working hard out of possession to getting his goal, which was a delightful finish, to being that creator. He had a wonderful game, and it's good to have you back with us, Madison's #1 fan. And also, a member of the Mark Army, which we just shouted out yesterday. The Mark Army, very, very strong. And so we need to have as many of the Marks in here with us as possible, because you guys are absolute top class. The Mark Army, one of my favorite armies in the business. And then Mark's saying, I just want to shake hands.
We all do.
Shake my hand. Shake my hand. I want to shake his hand. Absolutely love that meme. Very, very good. Very good. But big up to Mark, absolute top class gentleman. Wayne Bonner as well. Loved your comment on Dragusin. And also thank you for gifting out the membership to the one and only Kulusevski Football. If you are listening, Kulusevski, do make sure to thank Wayne Bonner, Gons and Football and Things, saying, I thought we played really well with some players. I know they are not the best team in the world, but we got at them and scored 3 goals. Come on, you Spurs. Well, Gons, Football and Things. Look out for some of the future tweets that I have. Some people still had a lot of criticisms of the performance, despite there being only 10 men on the pitch. Lee Moody's in here. Hope you're well, boys. I'm in a great mood today. After that win, you should be, Lee. And especially with the last name Moody as well. You should be in a good mood. Connor, come on, you Flat Cap Army. Big up to you. Joe is asking, is it only 3 games or just 1? Dave is saying it's 3, and I'm going to trust Professor Harris on this occasion.
Should be 3. Straight red.
I've for some reason, I have a sneaky suspicion that it's 3 in the domestic league, right, in the Premier League. But for some reason, I'm wondering if with cup competitions, if it's slightly different
Maybe.
with the ruling. But that's just my maybe desire to think slightly differently on this one, just to give it maybe a bit more, kind of, I don't know, not to be totally sure of it, I guess. Connor saying, my first away game on Sunday. Looking forward to that, Connor. And also against Man United. That sounds like an absolute cracker. And to be able to even go to an away game is kind of a special privilege in its own nowadays. That's something that even Dave and I are really jealous of. I think we really want to be able to catch an away game at some point, but you need to have lots of points, right, as a Hotspur member, right, Dave, in order to go to an away game? Or I guess you need to know somebody. You need to be going with someone who has that extra ticket that'd be willing to take it with you. But big up to Mark. Sounds like a great game to go to. Do remember, though, probably need an umbrella. You might need as well, the rain jacket, just in case the Man United waterfalls of Old Trafford end up raining down on you. So just be aware of that. It's not going to be technically a dry stadium, if you will.
what I would say is get in the mind frame of that you're going to a water park instead of a football stadium. That's what it seems to be. I mean, look, I don't want to alarm you, but the game the other night they had, it was pissing down rain, and honestly, it was like a river flowing down the stands. It was hammering. It was absolutely insane. So just bring a load of wet gear and just be absolutely prepared for it. I'd probably, even me and Jack here would probably have to sit in swim hats and rain mats. To be brutally honest with you.
You should.
Honestly, hopefully you have a great day. Manchester is a nice place. I've been there. Very, very nice city. Very nice people, to be fair to them. And also, big up Davey Hall. Good to see you, my man. I don't give you enough credit, by the way. You come on every video. You're in there every live stream. It doesn't go unnoticed. Really appreciate it, Davey.
Legend Davey Hall, member of the David Army, very strong army indeed. But I would love to see David Harris, our David Harris, rock the goggles, the swim goggles for the next game, for the next watch along. That would be lots of fun. Thanks to Mark as well, picking up that membership. You're very kind to us, Mark, and also thanks for being a class act as well by coming back to us and giving. It's like we're giving each other a hug right now, virtually, Mark. Not even shaking hands, a hug and a handshake. Really appreciate you, Marky, and also Fat Tony up nice and early saying, "That's not rain coming down. That's Ten Hog's tears." They seem to be stronger and stronger each passing week, Fat Tony. Troll Football saying Arsenal watching Tottenham play football and score goals after going a man down. Wait, that's illegal. No, indeed. It seemed like probably their minds could not even comprehend. Their minds couldn't even comprehend. Spurs lose possession. Solanke. Good hard work rate from our man there, Solanke. Vicario today.
Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Vinicius has just taken the Ballon d'Or.
What a game he had yesterday, by the way. And
Yeah.
off the back of the criticism that he received, for the Brentford game, and some of the narratives that were starting to form, we should look to sell, cash in, move on from Vicario. He saved their ass right before halftime yesterday and pulled off another multiple of great saves. Honestly, it was like a catalogue for him. Fair play to him. Good performance off the back of midweek. And hopefully we have the same concentration and a similar performance on Sunday.
Absolutely. And I do love that meme as well as the shake the hand meme is really good. I love whenever that's used. Our man around the ground, Joe Connor, saying to Connor, saying he got up the rule book here. He's saying, as a rule, a player or team official sent off by the referee is automatically suspended for the next match in a UEFA club competition. And technically, Dave, the Romero incident, right? He got a straight red in that one, and he's been technically only suspended for one game. So maybe it is only one game.
Maybe the rules are different in Europe. I know it used to be, 3-game ban for a straight red. Maybe it's changed. Look, who knows what the rules are anymore with modern day football, Jack? They change every fucking summer.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll take it, whatever, opportunity we can get.
Game, it's still not good enough, but, he's
Oh,
lucky.
huge let off. Huge let off for us, but for Dragusin, he's definitely still in the doghouse for that one. Joff Totten saying, good evening, guys. Great win by the boys. Absolutely right, Joff. Ash P saying, can you do it on a cold, rainy night in United? A very wet night. Can you do it in United? Ash, pick up, though. Really appreciate you being in here. And good to see Mark as well saying, needed to get my 12-month badge. Yeah, come on, man. You got to make it to the 12 months. Then you can get sick of us. Then you can leave us after that. Got to get to the full year, my man. Got to tolerate us at least for that length of time. It's like a prison sentence. Adrian Chia saying, pick up, lads. Great to see some of those pearly whites. Come on, you Spurs. Oh, it was just good to be happy clapping. Good to be winning again, isn't it, Adrian Chia? I really do love seeing Spurs on the 3-0s, the 4-0s. I don't care how it's done. I don't care whether it's ugly, whether it's beautiful. If you get a 3-0 win like that, I mean, you just got to smile. You got to be, ordering the pizza, get the ice cold, Coca-Cola out with the lemon. It's just one of those type of occasions, especially European nights as well. I mean, you got to be able to celebrate it. And I think we do it as best we can, and definitely going to be showing the pearly whites after a game like that. I am going to be smiling into this weekend up until that United game, and hopefully we get to smile even more afterwards after the Sunday, and we'd hope to have you with us for it, Adrian Chia. But big up to you, and hopefully you're doing okay this weekend, my friend. Really appreciate you, and hopefully you had a good time watching the game last night, or if you maybe caught it the next day, hopefully you enjoyed the performance. Big John Bass saying, "Now let them score. Put your flag up for offside." I think he's referring to some of the offside goals that they ended up scoring with Karabag yesterday, Dave. It was
That's what it feels like when they're in the VR against us, Jack. That's what it feels like, to be fair.
def-
Also, big up Lewis as well. Bought VPN using the link. Really appreciate that, my man.
really, really kind of you, Lewis. Thank you so much, my friend. And hopefully, you get to save a bit of money on some of the streaming services that you can get in America. Be able to watch, nerd out to a ton of Europa League games, Conference League games. No 3 p.m. blackouts, which is just ridiculous that you guys have to deal with, considering it's your sport and your country. Yet you guys don't even get to watch it. You have to move over to the USA in order to be able to do that. So hopefully, you can take advantage of that VPN and then also save yourself a buck or two on some streaming services, and also even get to watch more content on Twitter over here as well. Alex from last night. Oh, Bergvall, Dave. He's going into villain mode after that. You could tell he's just I mean, you have to feel for the kid. You really do have to feel for the kid. He's gone to villain mode.
Breaks your heart for Bergvall, Jack, because last night would have been the ideal game for him to shine. Like, you seen how crap they were when we had 10 men. Imagine with him on the field, pulling the strings, playing the balls through, helping Papa Sarr and Basuma turn the ball over in midfield. It would have been a glorious night altogether. And I think it would have been the arrival of Bergvall. And look, that's another reason Dragusin letting someone down like Bergvall, and I know Dragusin is not a senior player, but he's, with some of the younger signings we've made, he's starting to become that. And,
Hmm.
you know, these kids rely on these guys, to do the right things so that they can get their minutes to shine. And unfortunately, that's the repercussions of it, is someone like Bergvall having to come off. And many might ask, did Ange Postecoglou make the right decision? When you're down to 10 men, you tend to lean on your experienced players to get you through rather than your younger players. So he did make the right decision in taking off Bergvall. But look, I think Ange will give him plenty more minutes to make up for it. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a good few minutes off the bench against United if things are going very, very well to make up for it. But
Hmm.
I would say to Bergvall, as frustrating as it is, as heartbreaking as it is, just keep your head. You're on the periphery. Your minutes are going to come, and this will make him a better player.
Yeah. Ash P is everyone's agent around the ground today. Very studied group, you guys all are. Ash P is saying it wasn't a straight red, by the way. It was 2 yellows for Romero. Thank you very much, Ash P. It felt like a straight red challenge, and I was actually in the stadium for it, and yet I still can't remember the exact outcome of the situation. I, for some reason, thought it was a straight red. But thank you, Ash, for that perfect correction there, and I'm glad that I didn't get that. Well, I did get that wrong, and I'm glad that someone can get it right at least in the chat. The Spurs fan says, and that's why Dragusin is on the bench. Shame for Bergvall because of Dragusin. It is a big shame. The Tyler's in the house. The Big T. Good to see you, Tyler. Hopefully you're okay, and hopefully you're
Trust you,
safe
mate.
after some crazy wins last night. Hopefully you're okay, Tyler. Hopefully nothing too serious over in Florida. Wayne Bonner saying Basuma and Solanke played well last night. Dom's impressing me. Absolutely got it for Bergvall though, coming off for the sub. Lee Harvey saying, afternoon, Dave and Jack just looked it up. The red card in any part of the tournament is just a 1 game suspension. Well, we are very
Thank you,
lucky.
Lee.
Then Lee Harvey. Lewis saying Peacock is the streaming service. Yes, Peacock. You can also as well do Paramount Plus if you wanted to do the European games. So you can get Europa Conference League, Europa League, and technically the Champions League as well. All three of them with the Paramount Plus. Then even as well, I think with Paramount, you can get championship games. You can also get Serie A. You can get there's one more. You can get the Carabao Cup as well. There's actually a lot that you can get with the Paramount Plus subscription. You can really just be able to watch anything you want as Spurs wise. You wouldn't be able to miss any game, I think, with those two streaming services. So big up to you, Lewis, and hopefully you get to save a buck or two. And I really appreciate you grabbing that link, my friend. But let's keep and Joris is in the house. Good to see you, Joris, our one and only Belgian Hotspur.
Big
Hopefully
up,
you had
Belgian.
plenty of Leffes last night, plenty of Duvels, plenty of Chimets after what was a great European night, my friend. Big up to you, Joris. Pop Matasar celebrating the win. Big night at home. Come on, you Spurs. Great performance from our mentality monster, Pop Matasar. Billy saying, Ange beating the poor in Europe allegations with the 3-0 forfeit win. Indeed, absolutely. Kayla saying he made sure that the team was secure with that third goal before being asked to get subbed off. Always trying to put the team before him. I love the kind of what sort of gave me some relief, Dave, is that maybe Sonny was just sort of feeling tiredness and maybe had a tweak or, kind of something that, he didn't feel too comfortable with, but he looks to actually be walking okay in this situation. And then he is just basically, I think, getting himself subbed off. A bit of time wasting as well. You actually kind of have to love it there from Sonny, getting the medical team over, doing a bit of time wasting, taking a bit of the sting out of the game. So from this video, I think we can tell that Sonny should be okay for the Man United game. The way that he walked over to the team and everything, and sort of sat himself down, and what I assume is kind of a bit of a housery type of way of just doing a bit of time wasting. So maybe he is okay.
Um, you don't know with
You're
Tottenham.
skeptical.
Yeah, look, that's the thing, Jack. We could go into the pre-match press conference whenever it's released and could find out that son, it has a knock and he might miss the Man United game. You just don't know.
Mhm.
The problem is we should never have played him last night. He didn't need to be out there to beat Karabakh. They're absolutely crap. And he didn't really have much involvement in the 3 goals either, to be brutally honest.
No.
And it wasn't his greatest performance. So there's no need for him to be out there, let alone out there for that long. Again, Radu Dragusin, thank you very much for that one, by the way. Keeping someone like Son out there for so long. But look, Jack, I have a bit of a concern about Son, because if you remember when we done the preseason tour of Korea, if you remember, around this time of the season under Conte, Son was absolutely knackered. People saying he's finished, he's done, this, that, and the other. And it was sort of a bit later on in the season where he really came to prominence again. Well, we were at pre-season tour back out in Korea, and again, bar the Everton game, he sort of struggled, in some of these games. Brentford, he looked tired. He didn't look his sharpest self. Again, midweek, looked tired, didn't look his sharpest self. He's not getting involved too much in the press or the defensive side of things, and going forward, he looks laboured in possession, and he's nowhere by near finished. My point is, I think these Korean pre-season tours are taking way too much out of our star player. So they need to stop them and look to go elsewhere. I get the reasoning behind that, and I get he probably wants to go back there, but it takes his toll on him coming into the season, and it has to stop.
Yeah. Ron saying Vicario's aura made him sky the penalty.
Yeah. Yep.
Just the crack of Vicario, right? Just is too intimidating for some. And he's an absolute nutter as well, which is probably why I love him even more. Yeah, that Callum Wilson moment. What a moment that was. The Callum Wilson moment. This guy's he's the new Gomez, but even more cracked than I would say Gomez probably was, because I loved Gomez. He made some incredible saves for us. It just had a great personality. But I would say Vicario just has that kind of world-class ability at times that maybe Gomez just, wasn't able to show maybe as often, you could say. And I do like, though, crazy goalkeepers. I prefer my goalkeepers to be crazy, Dave.
No, so do I, Jack. I like them to have that bit of ego about them, that bit of craziness, because if he doesn't, I almost get worried, because everybody in football says goalkeepers are strange people. So if he's not strange and he's just a normal Jack the lad, that's when I become a bit concerned.
Yeah, and Belgian Hotspur is worried about Sonny's availability come Sunday. Yes, I think we would struggle without him, and we need him to be in full fitness. And Tyler saying, luckily in the southeast of Florida, so it didn't get hit. I know people on the West Coast and their houses are half underwater. Yeah, that's Florida. You guys have it crazy over there, Tyler. So I hope you get to stay safe, my friend. And Connor as well. And Davey Hall saying they're going forward. His great defender was pouring arts. But big up to everybody in the house. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. But we're going to keep this movement. Simon Humane saying this is how every villain origin story starts out. Lucas Bergvall, he's going to be hunting for blood next time he comes on the pitch. That's for sure. Rob Daly saying Sarr's athleticism was key last night in coping for 82 minutes plus with 10 men. Great player to have in that situation. Plus was involved in the goals. 1, to win the ball in the first goal. 2, when he scored. And then 3, he made that run to stretch the space against Karabakh. I think I agree with Rob, Dave, that we said during the watch along, having someone like him is really important because he can cover ground so much more than other players can. He has a relentless engine defensively, Pape Sarr, but in possession, he was really good on the day, actually. I thought he moved it quickly. He did play part in all the goals because he won the ball really high up the pitch to get it on to Solanke, who did very well as well. And then also you look at the second goal, he was there at the right place at the right time, showed some composure with the finish. And then in the third goal, he made that very unselfish run to, right, like you said, stretch that Karabakh defense, was able to bring it down, brought some others into play, and we scored from there. In a way, Pape Sarr's performance probably goes a bit under the radar.
No, look, Pape Sarr was brilliant last night, I thought. It didn't go under the radar at me. I thought he was absolutely class last night. And not only that, How many times did he pick up the ball and try to play long balls over the top as well and stretch Carabag? Really enjoyed his performance yesterday. Delighted he got the goal. Another one where there was questions starting to form around him, and rightly so. But hopefully this is a performance he can build off. But it wasn't only him. I thought Basuma, again, having that athleticism beside Papa Sarr really helps him out to a large degree as well. It means you've got two guys that, if they're willing to put in the effort, can basically do the work for three men. And that's what they ended up doing most of last night. But not only that, in the last one, Ange Postecoglou deserves massive praise for bringing on Destiny Udogie, by the way, because he also was massive down that left-hand side, getting forward and getting back. Having them three in the team, if you're reduced down to 10 men, and, Brennan Johnson or Kulusevski in there, it really gives you a huge opportunity to be able to go and compete because of how quick they are to be able to get forward, get back, how strong they are, how willing they are to be able to go and hunt the ball. Dom Solanke, another one last night. Once you've got them players in the team, you always have a chance against 10 men, especially playing this way.
And good to see as well. I believe Stevie Frazier has just joined us, and he's going to be watching it back from the beginning. Thank you so much, Stevie Frazier, and also really appreciate your support as a member. And anybody who is tuning in, we are going to be doing the members live match preview for the Man United game today, later on this evening. So please do look out for that one if you are a member. And if you're not a member, think about grabbing that, because then you can get our members only live match previews, which are about kind of podcast length, a little under an hour usually. And so hopefully you guys get to be able to catch that one. Billy saying, just before that, Tom81 saying Tottenham might have won 3-0 last night, but you saw the best and the worst of them. Excellent going forward, average in the midfield, he says. Absolutely atrocious at the back. Really got away with one, he says. Still not convinced on the way Spurs are playing. Can see them getting a pasting sooner or later. Dave, this is one that I kind of disagree with, because at the end of the day, when you are down to 10 men, most of the time it is going to be made a lot harder on you. And it's very difficult to even win a game 3-0, no matter how lucky you might be when you only have 10 men. And to say we were average in midfield, I think is very harsh, considering we only had two players in the midfield at certain stages with Basuma and Pop Sarr. And I thought they did a pretty good job covering for us defensively and helping us get forward. And to say we were average at the back or atrocious at the back, I mean, there were a lot of pretty excellent, moments from Mickey Van de Ven. Ben Davies had a decent game as well. Vicario had some excellent saves. I mean, this seems like a bit of a harsh one.
Do you know what? I was in the car with my dad very early this morning, and he sort of said the same thing to me, to a degree. Not maybe, he didn't go as far as saying average in the midfield, absolutely atrocious at the back, but the rest of it pretty much sums up what my old lad was saying to me. And I can understand it to a degree. Dad, a disallowed goal or one or two disallowed goals, missed a penalty. Vicario pulled off a couple of great saves. Van de Ven had a couple of one-on-one tackles to make. So against a better team, we would have been punished, and they probably would have took those chances. But at the end of the day, it was Carabag. We got away with it last night. And to be honest with you, I thought we earned that 3-0 win. I thought as a whole, when you're down to 10 men coming up against 11, I don't care who it's against. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're trying to defend it as well. I thought the midfield, Basuma and Sarr were absolutely brilliant last night. Don't get me wrong. Basuma still needs to cop on a bit. Sometimes he lost the ball in stupid areas that you don't need to do when you're down to 10 men, and exposed us a little, which doesn't help. He needs to learn there. Ben Davies, right before half-time, switching off, nearly cost us. How many times have we seen him do that? There's still little moments there, which I can fully understand where people have that side of thinking. But I do think that off the back of that game yesterday, should be a lot of respect thrown them players' way. In years gone by, we've had, by the way, much more senior players than what we have now. People said they're international players, they're good players, it's the manager's fault, that have turned up to games like this and have been turned over. And after getting a sending off 7 minutes in, them players could have easily turned and said, here we go again, it's just going to be another story of Tottenham getting turned over. But they didn't. They stood up, they fought for one another, and they ended up getting the victory. And this is all why times and tensions are sort of high at Tottenham Hotspur. So fair play to them. And in that regard, I think they deserve a lot of respect,
Yeah. We went down to 10 men against NS Mura, and I'd say we played better in this game than we did against NS Mura in that situation. And it was a very similar circumstance where we went down to 10 men very early in both games. But I think this one was actually a more convincing performance. So I'm going to have to disagree with Tom there. Billy saying these guys going to get off scot-free from UEFA for these delays. We got booted out for just having COVID, for F's sake.
True. It is true,
It is
though.
very true, actually. It is, puts that in perspective. Billy saying Europa League anthem last night bangs. Not gonna lie, yeah, it certainly does. I think it is. A lot of people seem to be warming up
Pretty
for the
sure that's
Europa
the
League.
wrong GIF at this time to be using, though.
Well, that's not Diddy, Dave. That's Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know, but he's supposed to be heavily in it.
God, Dave, you're doing your research on that situation. A culture man,
No, it
Dave.
just keeps popping up on Twitter, lad. It just keeps popping up on Twitter.
You know more about the situation than I do. You might have to take over the Twitter X. You're more internet cultured at
I'm
this
not.
point
It
than
just
I
keeps
am.
popping up on the timeline.
TEH Trunk saying Carabag walking the high road is vintage Europa. I'm sorry, but this is the GOAT competition and F the Champions League. It is amazing to see actually that there were so many Carabag fans, joining the high road going into the stadium. And I hope they had a wonderful time and were sent carrying their bags back home to Azerbaijan. Spurs Army saying it'll go under the radar, but what a performance from Archie Gray. Now, this was one of the other ones, Dave, that I kind of disagreed with because Archie Gray, I think, had a much better second half than he did a first half. But defensively, I just thought he got exposed in that game. Yes, there were 10 men, so you have to give him some sympathy that, you are going to be a little left short. You can't ask for as much help as you would like in when there's maybe 11 men on the pitch. But I'll be honest, I think there were lots of times where he got away with some moments defensively in possession in that first half as well. There were some sketchy moments where he's gifting away corners for no reason, kind of putting us under trouble. He had, I think, a better performance towards the end of the game, really. And I think he kind of recovered for a pretty poor first half. But there were so many comments on Twitter saying, give Archie the Ballon d'Or, things like that. I mean, what did we miss, do you think? Because it just feels like I disagree. I don't know if Archie Gray had a brilliant performance.
Look, I love Happy Clapping as the next man, but, to pretend that he had a great performance and that yesterday is not right. At the end of the day, there was some very good things he done. Some of the footwork was extraordinary at times I was watching. Like you said, second half, he sort of grew into the game. But they've targeted him most of the game down that side, right back, Get the ball out there. You could see it. Anytime the one player got the ball out there, the second one done an overlap and run. They doubled up on him every single time. Coventry doubled up on him Wednesday night, played the high ball on top of him. And teams are going to keep doing it until he learns to deal with that. Don't get me wrong. Yes, he played right back at Leeds, but he didn't play it this high in this sort of high line. So, there is going to be that room of scope for him to be able to have time to be able to deal with it and get used to it. But, and I did say yesterday at halftime, I think it was a real sink or swim moment for him because he was on the ropes at halftime. But he swam. So fair play to him, and it'll be a steep learning curve for him. But I'm not going to sit here and just because he's an 18-year-old kid and go, what a performance, because it's not going to do anything for the guy. At the end of the day, he well knows himself he got away with it last night and that he'll need to improve on certain things. So it's okay to say it.
Yeah, I don't think he had necessarily a great game, but doesn't mean that he isn't going to have a good game later on in the season or in the next one. I think he is going to be a great asset for us, and he's going to be a huge talent for us, and already is a huge talent. And I'm glad that we do have him in the ranks, and I think he'll eventually come very good for us. It's just I don't think he played really all that well, and it's more really defensively that I just thought he didn't really necessarily have the best of performances. Kane from the lane saying, I just wanted to watch some Lucas Bergvall last night.
I'm out of words. I don't know what to say, man. Wait.
That felt like me last night when he got taken off. I was so gutted for him.
Jake saying the Radu Dragusin improvement plan, shave off the top bun, sack your annoying agent, get better on the ball. Dave, would you agree with all three?
Exactly, Jack. Look, I have a problem with the top knot. I just don't like it. I just don't. Get rid of it. Get a Mickey Van de Ven haircut or Romero haircut. Become one of the amigos. That an agent of his, Jack. He some point in Dragusin's career, even if it's not at Tottenham, he's going to land him in the hot water, with a football club. And look, as you can see last night, and I've pointed it out before, Jack, about him on the ball. It's an area of his game that he needs to improve. Absolutely spot on. I might add Jake after this.
And Tyree saying Brennan Johnson has now scored 3 games in a row for Tottenham. I love this initial face from the guy here in this videotape. Look at this. And it's based off of the original prophecy as well that he would score 10. Solanke and Johnson on the score sheet again. It's absolute scenes. It's just exactly what you want to be seeing. The prophecy is true from Tyrese. It definitely has been coming true. Dave, at this point, might be heading to the bookies to start putting on those Johnson and
One more
Solanke
at the
bets.
weekend, Jack, and I'm on it.
Oh, maybe at that point might be too late, Dave. Everyone will be putting money on him on the bookies. Aaron Lennon saying Johnson again passes it in, quality finish. Aaron Lennon was all over Twitter last night. He seemed to really be enjoying the win. Tottenham Hotspur, cold Spurs picks, absolutely cold, and he is our mentality monster. Davina saying 3-0 win and a clean sheet with 10 men against Azerbaijani champions. We happen on the Spurs bet tonight, indeed. Luca THFC, Lucas Bergvall highlights versus Karabakh. If you know this meme, this is so good. What a performance. What a performance. Sensational. Gus saying, if this Solanke performance doesn't move you, I can't help you. I thought it was a very solid performance from Solanke. Again, it's another 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for me. Just works his tail off. Good hold-up play. Got the goal that he deserved. And an all-around good performance. I think you can see why Ange Postecoglou did bring him in, though, for a lot of different reasons. Aaron Lennon saying, game over, finally. Solanke as well, arrows. Like I said, Dave, Aaron Lennon was feeling it last night. Ron saying, Radu Dragusin, you will pay for this. No one was happy to see Bergvall in that sort of move. And as well, Interlude saying 3-0 with a man down from 8 minutes in. I mean, just liquid performance now, wasn't it, from the boys? Ron or Cho saying Brennan since the Instagram deactivation.
Yeah, bit far, but if I see him do that, I become my favorite player.
Guglielmo Vicario on Instagram, a day that I will not forget. The first one as a captain, leading this great club at home in a European Cup, and more importantly, getting the 3 points. Very proud. This is one for those this is one for those fans that are always by our side, no matter what. Vicario, Dave, I think we must have missed that he was given the captain's armband during the watch long, and I'm glad to have found that out actually later that evening, that he did get that chance as the captain, and it might have been you or it could have been someone else that we were speaking to that said that he has been kind of promoted to the leadership group, and this would be, the evidence of that.
Yeah, he's now the 4th member of the leadership group, which is great to see. Apparently he's very vocal in around Tottenham, which is another great thing to see, something I've been calling for. And look, you could see it last night, almost inspired him last night, to keep that clean sheet and that tackle again, to bail Ben Davies out. It's what captains do, Jack. Fair play to him. Delighted he's moving in the right direction. Let's keep it going, Big Vic. We're big fans. That message really brought a tear to my eye.
Big fans from the Big Vic. Mark saying Gray did have a really good second half. I'd agree that he had a good second half. I just thought he got away with one kind of in the first half, but that's okay, right? And I also did try to caveat it by saying when there are 10 men, it is going to be even harder on you defensively. And I think he really did have to be pushed to his limits there. Moondog with the 34 months as a Flat Cap member. Thank you so much, Moondog, for the dedicated support for this length of time as well. Nearly 3 years, my friend. Thank you so much. And he's saying, good afternoon, Dave and Jack. This is rubbish. Well, I did see some comments on that in the Twitter. I thought Bissouma had some pretty good moments in that game. And then there were some sloppy Bissouma moments with some bad touches, some bad giveaways. Defensively, I thought he was actually all right, to be honest. And then the penalty, I mean, I don't think that was a penalty, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, I just don't think he actually really did foul the guy. I think the other guy sort of was looking for the foul. And then Bissouma ended up actually still winning the ball after the guy was looking for the foul as well. But Dave, a lot of people did have some criticisms of Bissouma's performance. Was it a mixed bag of one?
Yeah, thing is, I don't think he's rubbish, Moondog. I think he's frustrating. That's for me, I find him very, very frustrating because there's a serious player in there. There's almost, dare I say it, a Moussa Dembele-esque player in there. If the guy only wanted to concentrate on football, but he doesn't, and that's there within lies his problem. Now, he's nowhere near as the extreme case as an Ndombele, but it's similar to a degree where he's got so much potential and he's not getting it out of himself. It's very, very frustrating. He's almost like the guy that you have to have a bodyguard walking around with him, a babysitter, just to make sure he's not out. He's sitting inside watching Coronation Street the night before a game and stuff like that. And, so he's not getting himself into stupid things like he did before over the course of pre-season. And that there, realizing is his problem. He got in trouble down in Brighton for being out with the wrong crowd and stuff like that. And that right there is his problem.
True.
If he had the right people around him, that guy's ability, is absolutely endless. That guy can get on the ball, dribble by 4 people if he wants to. He can hold people off. Where I thought I became very frustrated with him yesterday is initially he done a lot of good work. But when it came to that final pass to lay it off, okay, Bish, you've done all that great work, pass it off. He makes the wrong decision or loses the ball. And that's where it becomes very, very frustrating. But I'm not giving up on Bissouma yet. I gave up on Ndombele very, very quickly because he was so far out of shape. I just knew he was never going to get back. But I'm not giving up on Bish. I think, at some point it's going to click with him.
All right. Well, let's hope it does. And he is an exceptionally talented player, but Moondog is starting to lose patience with him, and I could see why, right? He's already been here at this point a little bit of time, and he's he's not necessarily progressed in the way that maybe we would have thought. And considering the initial hype that there was around the signing when we first brought him into Spurs, plenty of people labeled that as the signing of the summer, and those weren't even Spurs fans as well. They just thought for the value of the deal for 27 million, the fact that he was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League for a couple of seasons, they did think that this was an absolute steal by Tottenham Hotspur. And at the moment, you could say it's a bit of a mixed bag of a signing to a degree. Tottenham Simpson saying again to all the Brennan haters, I absolutely love Tottenham Simpson's account. Solanke goal, Johnson goal, Sarr goal, clean sheet, Kara back, misman, 3 points. Bring out the Contextualizing every single game. It feels like if we keep on winning, absolutely love this one being used on a consistent basis. It's really, really good. Look at THFC, Brennan Johnson in the last 3 matches.
It's just over the top. Just way too over the top.
Side netting, though, Dave. Yeah. Side netting finishes. Side netting finishes. Maybe that's what they might mean. Gareth Bale, side netting.
No, they have a feeling he's going to be the new Gareth Bale. He's got a long way to go.
Aaron Lennon say needed that. Sarr, get in there. Bullets, bullseye, baby. There you go, Aaron Lennon.
That's the guy I used to love. I used to absolutely love a bit of Aaron Lennon.
James saying, I still have no idea what this means. No, I think we're all going to be in complete mystery when it comes to the anime knowledge that Solanke is able to display to us. And we just have to go with the vibes, I think, Jamesy boy. We have to go with the vibes. Jay Andrew saying, well done, lads. Great win. 10 men versus a dangerous side, who I'm sure will have good results in the tournament. So he still backs Karabakh to do well this tournament. And he says, Van de Ven, Vicario, Solanke, and Sarr were my standouts, but the majority were solid and worked very hard. Brennan, 3 in a row. We cooking on gas now. Roll on, Man United. There you go, Jay Andrew. Good summary of the game there. Andrew with 10 men. Arteta with 10 men.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Just 2 different ways of playing and 2 different levels of quality is what I would say, Neo. Absolutely love that one. Spurs web, Lucas Bergvall looks devastated on the Spurs bench. Like I said, a lot of people are upset by seeing Bergvall in that type of mood. United Snippet or Untitled Snippet says, who should I do a comp on between Vicario, Solanke, and Udogie? Dave, answer them.
Too early to do one on Solanke yet. He's had a couple of very good performances, good shifts in there, but he hasn't done anything spectacular enough to be able to do a comp wheel yet.
I think he means for that one game.
Oh, for that one game? Oh, Vicario.
Yeah, I'd go for Big Vic as well. SW Spurs saying, I hope a few are starting to see why we bought Solanke. I think even Dave, who's a bit of a doubter on Solanke, is still pointing out some of the good things that he was brought in for, like the work rate, like the physicality, the hold-up play. It's just, the big question mark is, can he put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis, right? Because he did miss that one big chance that all of us expected to go in the back of the net. But this is the thing with Solanke is, he is going to be judged by that at the end of the day, right? He's going to be judged by the amount of goals that he scores. Can he finish the big moments, the big chances? But I think people are noticing, probably as well as yourself, Dave, the little things that he does really well. And that's kind of where he's a mixed bag of a player, right? Because he does the little things very well, from the work rate to the hold up play to just kind of being an unselfish player, really in general. But it is also down to the finishing and whether you can put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis.
No, 100%. And like that one he missed yesterday. That concerns me a little, because I'm used to whether that used to be Harry Kane. I'm used to seeing that one tucked away. That's a certain goal, and he has to gain that level of confidence off me that when he's through, I know he's going to bury it. But not only that, like yesterday, he done some absolutely great work in general. He done some absolutely brilliant work. But there were a couple of times then when he went again, like Basuma, went to lay off that pass, he sort of gave it away and sort of undone some of the good work he done. But look, I think this is a guy that's grown into the Tottenham role. I think he's learning how to play up front in that sort of role, and let's wait and see what he does. I'm very excited to see what Dominic Solanke can do. People keep saying, "Oh, they're tap-ins," but they're great striker goals. That's what he was brought to be in them positions.
And Ash P saying it's from an anime called Attack on the Titan, where characters sometimes bite themselves to enlarge into titans. Ash P, I feel like you need to be doing this Twitter Reacts with Dave. You guys are much more internet cultured than I am at this stage. We need to get as many people on here because you knew about the Romero second yellow. Now you also are an expert on the anime as well. Thank you, Ash P. Really, really good to see. Lazy 8 also saying Attack on the Titan, where the main character bites his hand and turns into a monster. There you go. Lazy 8 in here straight away correcting us on just the on the anime celebrations. You need to get maybe just a whole new panel for these Twitter reacts for these Solanke goal celebrations. And then Moondog saying nearly 3 years. Are you guys going to be offering me a new contract? I think we should probably.
Is it about him or Basuma?
For some reason, I thought it was about Moondog, but maybe he is talking about Basuma, Dave.
Moondog, before we respond, can you clarify that? Because I don't want to respond to the wrong thing, lad.
I think maybe we'll offer you a new contract after 3 years, Moondog. Be happy to do so. Be happy to apply. Such loyal service, such great performances that you put in for the Irish Hotspur. But maybe in Basuma's case, I'm not sure if we're going to be offering the new contract. I think we might have to rescind that and hold back on that for the time being. Big up to Tyler, though. Absolutely love that comment. Big up to Regular Gamer. And then Spurs fan, I am from the great state of Washington. Alex saying the red card is, Simon Humain saying his smile is back and he's got it 3-3. That's everything together. He definitely had that smile back, and he had that smile while he was finishing it, which I thought was pretty fun to see. Alex saying the red card is obviously Dragusin's fault, but you can't blame him that much for panicking in this situation. Once again, the distance Spurs are putting between their center backs and the rest of their side creates enormous pressure on those center backs to handle situations like this. Now, Dave, I did warn you. There were going to be some tweets that I, again, would disagree with. I kind of disagreed with the Archie Gray one. I kind of disagreed with Tom 81's thing about kind of the criticism of the performance. This is another one I kind of disagree with. Like, I don't see why there's being an excuse made for Dragusin in this situation. I really don't.
Honestly, I question what game was he watching. The ball was played to him, wasn't really under too much pressure when it was there. He got himself into that trouble, by taking too long on the ball, by letting the ball run across him and the man as well. He got himself into that situation. Look, I'm sick of it, constantly making excuses for players or constantly blaming other people for other people's mistakes. It's his fault, and the only way he's going to grow and learn is if he takes responsibility for it. You can't blame everything else around it.
Yeah.
That's just an excuse looking to blame Ange Postecoglou. At the end of the day, when they signed that contract, they knew exactly what they were signing up for. He knew exactly what he was signing up for. That high line, the centre-back spread out in possession. To be honest, are we the only club, around Europe that spread a centre-backs out in possession, or is that a known thing now across Europe? It's a known thing right across Europe right now. Most people split their centre-backs in possession and push their full-backs up a little bit higher. So to be honest, I think it's an absolute load of nonsense.
Me too. I think a simple pirouette also in this situation just catches that guy. Juninho was bearing down on him. He was trying to press him really hard there, but you can use then his momentum against him in this situation if you just have a bit of class and composure on the ball, right? If you have someone completely bearing down on you like that, just simply shift them one way, then move the other, and just do a simple pirouette. And then all of a sudden, they're just running into the
One touch,
opposite
move it back to
stands.
Vicario. Simple.
One touch back to, there's so many situations he can do here. It would require a bit of composure and a bit of class on the ball, but that's what we should be expecting from these center backs in these situations. And even again, Dave, right? Move your body weight one way, send him the other direction. And then you have someone like Brennan Johnson, who's wide open there out on the right, who's about to show for the ball. Or also as well, you have Basuma, who's dropping deep in this situation. Again, use your body weight against him, use his momentum against him and get it to Basuma. There's multiple options here for them. None of them are technically easy. Like, I think the Vicario one's the easy one, but there still are available options to him. And in this system, you would expect that our center backs are good enough on the ball to handle situations like this. It's not like we're talking about, again, Sanchez's, Eric Dyer's that are completely incompetent on the ball at times like this. We are talking about center backs that we do expect a much higher degree of competency from. And I think there's no reason to make an excuse for Dragusin, in my opinion. Yeah. Radu on the bus after the game. Very good. Very good. So you're saying you can see why Ange wanted Solanke so much. He is perfect for his system. I think a lot of people can see why the big Solanke has been good for us. Solanke has been unreal tonight, says the Fighting Cock. He got the goal that he deserves. Well, before we get to Billy's, we're going to get to Moondog here. And he said, I was talking about me. Yes, Dave. We have to give Moondog a new contract.
Yes,
and
a new contract, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. We'll get it arranged. Send us the documents, or we can get the documents sent to you, Moondog, vice versa, whatever it need
I'll
be.
get my lawyer to look at it.
We'll get the Adobe Reader printed out. We'll get the contract. Maybe get someone to print out these days it's all e-sign, e-documents. So if you're okay with that, we'll send that over to you, Moondog, and we'll sign you up for what, a 1 year, 2 year extension with the Irish Hotspur. You don't want to go crazy, maybe with a 3 year extension with the Irish Hotspur. You don't want to have to be prisoned to us for that long, but maybe we could do a nice 1 year, 2 year kind of sunny style, a little bit of a bump and pay rise as well. Get you nice on the 100K, 200K a week sort of things. You've been very good to us.
Nah, big up, Moondog. You've been very, very good to us, my man. Look, if you think you can handle another 3 years of myself and Jack, fair play to you, lad. More than happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, we have Billy's here, which this was just great. Wasn't really that arsed about the game, but Bergvall's start has moved me. I'm absolutely hyped. Then he writes, I hate it here.
Big up, Billy.
Because Bergvall was taken off after 7 to 8 minutes. Alfie saying his first of many anime celebrations. I think that was his second anime celebration. I think he did have an anime celebration in a different game. And Beal N17, Nabil says, first time back at Spurs for nearly 3 years. Thank God for the match delay, or we would have been stuck in traffic. Got 2 of my youngsters here tonight. Come on, you Spurs. Need a big win to set us off. They're looking good as well. Madison, Sun Kits. Huge packed stadium. I hope you had a wonderful time, Nabil. And he's a good person on Twitter.
That's what it's all about, Jack. Passing it on to your kids. Absolutely love that. Big up, Nabil.
Absolutely. Carly saying Dominic Solanke reminds me so much of a certain former Spurs player. Now, this is another one where I appreciate the praise for Solanke last night, but this is another one I kind of slightly disagree with. Like, Solanke is different to Harry Kane in that he's nowhere near as graceful, I think, or as sometimes aesthetically pleasing is maybe what Harry Kane was. And also, he technically works harder out of possession than really Harry Kane ever did as well. So I just think they're different players. They kind of occupy similar physique, right? They're big, tall strikers up front that are your typical number 9 type mold. But I would say that their game is just different from each other. Yes, they both hold it up. They do like to drop deep. But Harry Kane, his kind of thing was he dropped deep so that he could try to spin his man and try to completely unlock the defense with a sprayed through ball or a big switch of play. He liked to do that sort of center midfielder kind of moment of creativity, dropping deep like that. But with Solanke, it's kind of more your typical large man, clunky kind of hold up play that, don't get me wrong, in my opinion, is very effective. So I would say this is, again, being a little kind to Solanke, being a little kind. Mark saying, let me mute this part. Which part was that about, Mark? Let me know. Which part was that about?
Me, Dragusin, I think.
Okay. SW Spurs saying we're going to be called naive again by some, but how would we have done it if we had parked the bus? Just my view, we would have lost that game. It's different, but why invite the pressure? Like this, we can always score. I am all in. Well, he was very moved by the performance last night, SW Spurs, and I could see why. I could definitely see why. Cody Mack saying, who effing decides the favorites for this competition? Do they even watch Spurs? Do they even know, for F's sake? Oh, but we got the win, Cody Mack, and now we're going to Bilbao, baby. Billy saying, thinks some people are in for a rude awakening tomorrow. Karabakh or no mugs. Been watching Karabakh Football Cup. Blue, pronounced Karabakh, is an Azerbaijani professional football club that competes in Azerbaijan Premier League, the top flight of the Azerbaijani football for years. He's an expert on the Azerbaijani league, Dave, Billy.
He's an expert on shithousery, so I'll big up any.
Oh, and there it is, everybody. That is your Twitter reacts. Dave, any final comments, any final words? Thank you so much to everybody getting involved in this one. We did it live because it was so late last night. Wanted Dave to go to bed. I think most of the takeaway places were closed. So I figured, can't keep him up that much longer. He had some FIFA to play, probably just had some snacks to enjoy. Didn't play any FIFA, Dave. Well, being a good boy.
In 2 or 3 days, if not longer.
Wow, he's on a bit of a...
Tonight I will, though.
Wow. Well, Dave, I hope you are able to because, I figured after last night you would have been playing all night, just feeling the vibes of Spurs. But it sounds like you were being a good boy last night. But everybody, thanks so much for the support today. Thanks so much for getting involved in the Twitter Reacts. Thank you to Moondog. Thank you to Mark for grabbing a membership from earlier as well. Thank you to Ash for grabbing the membership. Thank you to Wayne Bonner for gifting out one. Thanks to anybody who tuned in at any stage during this Twitter Reacts. And thank you so much for the support that you do show the Twitter Reacts. It seems to do quite well with you guys. You guys seem to enjoy it. It's fun recording them with you guys. It's kind of cool to do it as a live show instead this time around. So let us know if you guys enjoyed it in this sort of manner. I don't think we're going to do it all the time this way. I think it'll be under special circumstances. But let us know if you thought this sort of format for it works for you all. But Dave, any final words? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, look, thank you all for tuning in. I don't get the mixed opinions on last night's game. It's sort of like we won 3-0 down to 10 men. You take it. It doesn't matter who it's against, especially when you win 3-0. It's not like we scraped over the line either. We sort of could have bet them by more. Yes, we got away with a few, but look, enjoy it where it comes because we very well could lose to Man United at the weekend. We could all have sour pussies back on our face. So over the next day or two, ease the concerns and just enjoy them.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend. It's kind of like the Everton thing, right? Where people seem to still find a lot of criticisms after the 4-0 win over Everton. It's kind of like, I feel like just enjoy the win and then move on. But that's just me personally. Everyone, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekends. If you are a member, we'll be seeing you for the members match preview live later today as well. Look out for channel predictions. We'll be recording that for tomorrow. Dave has predicted lineup going out. Also, too, everybody, we are going to be doing 2 watch-alongs over on the Big Up platform. You should look out for that in the community section as well as in Twitter if you want to check that out. The links should be provided there. We're going to be doing Bayer Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich. We're going to do a watch along for that one. And we're going to be doing the Chelsea-Brighton game as well tomorrow. So please join us for that. And I think we'd have a lot of fun watching other teams play, but also just be able to enjoy each other's company. Dave, anything else I'm missing? I think there might be one extra show, but
join us back here for Sunday, for the big game, Old Trafford. Right. Get your swim gear ready.
Get the swim gear ready. Get the goggles out. We'll see you at Old Trafford, everybody. Come on, you Spurs.